Is it a tablet? Is it a phone? Is it a phablet maybe? I don't know. You tell me. What's going on, guys? I'm Aaron from PhoneDog.com, and I'm here with the Samsung Galaxy Note. Now, this is the international version. AT&T's getting this bad boy somewhere around February 18th. At least that's the rumor right now. It was announced at CES. It's coming soon to AT&T. The international version's in the house, and this sucker is packing a dual-core 1.4 gigahertz processor, a 5.3-inch Super AMOLED HD display, an 8-megapixel camera, a front-facing camera, and of course Android 2.3 with Samsung's TouchWiz version 4. But you can just see how big this device is. Maybe it's too big for some. Maybe it's the perfect size for some. We're going to find out in the review of the Galaxy Note. But first, some love to Best Buy Mobile. When you go into Best Buy Mobile, you'll walk out working. They'll help you get your email, your web, all kinds of good stuff set up on your phone. So when you walk out the door, you don't have to set anything up. At Best Buy Mobile, you're good to go. Let's take a look at this Samsung Galaxy Note. Is this thing too big? Is it just the right size? Maybe you should go even bigger, maybe a 6-inch tablet phone. We'll find out in the full review, which starts right now. So this thing is huge, particularly when you compare it to other devices like the iPhone 4S, for example. Actually fits inside of the display of the Samsung Galaxy Note. And then you have the recently released Motorola Droid Razr Max here, and just giving you some comparisons here so you can really see the size difference of the Galaxy Note versus some of the other high-end Android devices on the market. It's a big, big phone. And you have to ask the question, is 5.3 inches, actually it's so big I probably need to focus out a little, or zoom out a little bit. There we go. So 5.3 inches, is it too big, or is it just right? For me, I think it's uncomfortably large. I'll tell you that right out of the gate with the review. It's hard for me to hold even, this is a one-handed approach. I have a hard time, I can't even touch my fingers naturally on this device. And then you can see, when I'm at the bottom, I can't go all the way to the top. But then for people that use it for two-handed operation, this might be the ultimate device for you. Just to give you a rundown on the Galaxy Note, this is something Samsung's really billing as a combination, a hybrid, if you will, phone/tablet. And just to give you a rundown of the specs, 1.4 gigahertz dual-core Exynos processor. And keep in mind, this is the international version that we got. We got the physical home button down here, and then the two capacitive menu and back buttons. You'll notice when AT&T gets this device a little bit later in the quarter, you'll see some design changes. Most notably, this will go over to 4 capacitive buttons as opposed to having a physical button. So that'll be gone. Let me shift this light back down here to give it a little bit more light. For whatever reason, is wanting to reflect off that display. Anyway, you'll notice that and some other minor design changes, and of course 4G LTE connectivity as well. But this is a nice device in terms of specs. It's spec'd well. It has an 8-megapixel camera with 1080p HD video recording. It's got a 2-megapixel front-facing camera. It's packing Android 2.3 with TouchWiz version 4.0, and it's got a big 2,500 milliamp hour battery hiding back here along with a micro SD card slot. And then it has an S Pen as well, because this device, again, is bridging the gap between tablets and phones. It has an S Pen, which serves as basically a capacitive pin that's built into the bottom of the device, and you can use it for your gestures as well. So if you get tired of using your finger, you can scroll through with the pen and more. So you've got this option as well. But otherwise, design-wise, very similar to the Galaxy S2 series that you've seen on a bunch of the different carriers worldwide. It's got the 3.5mm headphone jack up here on the top, your power button over on the side, your camera, of course, in the back. You got your volume rocker over here on this side. I'm still trying to get this battery cover back on while I'm doing this. There we go. I think it's finally popped back in. And your micro USB charging port at the bottom of the device. So it's reasonably speedy, 1.4 gigahertz dual-core Exynos processor. And for those of us who have worked with the Galaxy S2 series over the past year or so, most of the people that you talk to, the reviewers, really like the Exynos chipset. They say out of between the Exynos and the Snapdragon, the Exynos is very, very fluid in terms of performance, and you do get that Exynos performance over here on the Galaxy Note. You can see 7 home screens on this bad boy, TouchWiz 4.0 in full effect, and then just to show you what comes pre-installed on the device, because this is an international device and because this was imported, you're not going to see any carrier bloatware on this. We'll do a review of the AT&T one when it comes out, but keep in mind it'll have stuff like AT&T Navigator and AT&T Family Map and more. But out of the box, you get some Samsung stuff here. You get Social Hub, Music Hub, Readers Hub, all pre-installed. You get Keys Air, All Share, and then get some nice little things like Photo Editor and S Memo, which is one of my favorites, and we'll come back to that one in just a second. And then over here, some stuff I've pre-installed: Facebook, Weather Channel, Quadrant Standard, and more. And then of course Samsung apps. Apparently some new updates on Twitter as well. That's pretty exciting. Mini Diary and more. So actually I'll jump right into S Memo so you can take a look at this. This is a pretty cool little application. We're going to go in here and we'll do a new note, and I can use the pen to type, or to write rather, on the display. So I can say, and in typical PhoneDog format, we'll say the quick brown in my like half cursive, half print. Quick Brown Fox is happy with the Galaxy Note. And you can tell I'm pretty bad at this. Let me put it down on the desk so we can do it this way. And you can see the S Pen really in use here. So we can say, Phone Dog rocks my socks, yo. Phone Dog rocks my socks, yo. And then of course you can doodle and more. And surprisingly, it's pretty accurate in terms of a gesture input. And of course you can use your finger as well along with a capacitive pen. And this has a little creative button on the side. And you can do some nifty little tips and tricks like press and hold and take a picture of the screen while you press and hold and press the button. I've got a screen capture, so then I can send this over to a friend if I have a picture or something I want to pass along. It's nice and easy to do with the S Pen, which again comes built in to the actual device. So more in the S Note capabilities in just a minute. But let's go into messaging and take a look at the interface, because again I want you to see what it's like with this gigantic 5.3-inch display. So this is one of my demo phones. I was sending a test text message, and you can see it organizes it out by date, again in international format, along with the time that I send it. So I can say the Quick Brown Fox is ready for the note. Quick Brown Fox is ready for the note. I can send that, and it's going to pop up along with the time that it's sent as well. And then of course when I get one back, it'll pop up in typical threaded SMS format, very similar to the iPhone or iOS, if you will, and other Android devices, particularly TouchWiz 4.0. So you can see with the big 5.3-inch display, when I split it up into landscape mode, I can see the messaging category over here, and then I can see the individual messages. So when I click on it, if I had more than one, I could individually click down and I could see the text messaging thread over here on the side. So there's two keyboards rather that come pre-installed. The one you just saw is called Ice Cream Sandwich Keyboard. It's downloadable through the Android market, and I really like it because I've been a fan of the Android 4.0 keyboard, so it's nice to get that over on non-Ice Cream Sandwich devices. But out of the box you'll get two keyboards, the Samsung keypad, as you can see here, and then of course you get Swipe pre-installed as well. So Swipe's your thing, and of course with, again, big 5.3-inch display, it should be relatively easy to do Swipe. I'm just terrible at Swipe, but that's okay. So you can see you can use Swipe, and of course portrait and landscape mode. Transition effects are mostly quick, and you get a nice little transition effect there. And we'll go back to Ice Cream Sandwich keyboard. Actually, we'll go back to Samsung's keypad so you can see what it looks like as well. And it's nice and fluid. Again, giant 5.3-inch display makes it really easy to type on, and of course you can use that pen as well if you so desire. So we'll come back over here to the main screen and take a look at the internet. Now I have an AT&T SIM card in this, and just to give you a heads up, it does not, to my knowledge, support T-Mobile's 3G or HSPA Plus AWS bands in the United States. So if you import this internationally, you're going to have luck on AT&T. You should get HSPA Plus capabilities and 3G. And you'll notice as I'm doing the review, it'll switch back and forth between 3G and HSPA Plus as it goes, because it's not like an AT&T device where it keeps H Plus up there regardless of where you're at. It actually shows an accurate depiction of whether you're on an HSPA Plus backhaul or if you're on a typical 3G backhaul. So that's pretty cool and a nifty feature. And I always love that on the international devices because it really shows you how often you switch between HSPA Plus and 3G. And then up here in the notifications bar, a very typical TouchWiz setup, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, GPS, silent mode, and auto rotation toggles up here at the top, along with the network ID and the ability to clear out your notifications. So Phone Dog's loaded up, and you can see some minor differences to the way the browser looks here with full back and forward buttons and kind of a tablet slash desktop appearance. You've got your windows over here, your bookmarks over here, so I can easily switch back and forth between windows, and I can pick up right where I left off. And we'll go into an ad, for example, and it'll pop up in a secondary window, and I can scroll right back over and get to Phone Dog. So overall, responsiveness, very, very good. You know, this Exynos processor, I'm seeing a little bit of checkerboarding from time to time, but overall, it's relatively zippy with little to no lag, and it seems relatively responsive to my gestures. And of course you can use the pen as well for some of the browser tips and tricks, and then overall fluidity is pretty decent as well. Portrait to landscape transitions are nice and fast, so that's pretty neat. You know, and of course this device is ideal for somebody who likes to browse the web a lot or watch YouTube or do anything with media, be it, you know, take videos, watch videos on YouTube, browse the web a lot. This nice big display is going to be perfect for you. And the responsiveness appears to be good as well. Right in line with the other Exynos-based Samsung Galaxy S2 devices out there on the market. So you can see, because the display is a little bit larger, you've got 5 shortcuts down here in the home area. I happen to have phone, contacts, internet messaging, and applications down there, but you can switch up 4 of the 5, at least these 4 applications does have to stay down there. And then 7 home screens, like I said. But we can take a look at some of the widgets on this device. And it's a similar setup to TouchWiz 4 that you've seen on the Galaxy S2 series in the United States. Easy access to widgets. And then once I click on that, I can scroll right over and go back and forth between the various widgets. And of course, I like the fact that they kind of scroll like album covers whenever you go back and forth. So we can easily see all the different options that we have. And Samsung's done a pretty decent job in past years, or past months rather, with TouchWiz 4.0, coming up with some pretty decent widgets. You get a lot of different clock options, you get a lot of different calendar options. I can come over here and do AP Mobile and then AccuWeather. And the great thing about some of their widgets, let's bring AccuWeather over here to the desktop, for example, or to a home screen. I can customize the size of it and change the way it looks. So if I have a home screen that's particularly tight on space, I can customize the way the widget looks and easily pop it right down on a screen. So if there's just a little bit of space left, but I want to get a widget in there, a lot of Samsung's widgets are customizable, and that's pretty nice. I can come over here, for example, with the AP widget, change around the size if I want to, and you can see it gives me a nice little preview before I do it. Go down there, and then when I'm done, I just tap right out of it. So that's a nice little touch with Samsung's TouchWiz 4.0. I like the customizable widgets aspect, and in addition to that, you do not only get customizable widgets, but you get a lot of different size choices as well. So between that, when you're in a tighter home screen like this, or maybe this, perhaps this, where you want a widget to fill up that space, you're not going to have a problem doing it on anything on the TouchWiz 4.0. So that's a nice benefit. It's something that some of the other UIs need to pick up. And it's especially a nice benefit on a big 5.3-inch display.